A Sikh man has graduated from Marine Corps basic combat training with a turban and a beard. This is a first. And believe it or not, the Marine Corps still stands. It is not on fire, and it has lost no lethality because of this. Jaskirat Singh, I hope I said that right, is now a private first class in our United States Marine Corps. Now, this is a significant event because Marines are known for their strict adherence to standards, specifically grooming and appearance standards, or the uniform. And it's no secret to anybody, we're all a little jealous of the Marines' uniforms. I mean, come on, they look sharp, and it's probably because they don't change them every 6 months. Now, to get to this point, it took a lawsuit. Mr. Jaskirat Singh, along with 2 other Marines, as I've read it, sued in order for this to happen. They sued based on their religious freedom, or the fact that the Marine Corps standards are not allowing them to express their religious freedom. Jaskirat also had words about the gas chamber. He said it was quite easy, even with his beard. I think all of us, we're all singing his praises right now, especially those of us that want to have facial hair. To be honest, it's never been a major issue to me. I don't like having facial hair. It gets a little scratchy. But I also can't grow a beard. So, it is what it is. That being said, I think people fall into 2 camps with this issue. One is the people that believe we're getting soft, we're accommodating people based on their wants and not the standard. And 2, there's people that are just kind of fed up with the beard grooming standards. Like, why do we even have it anyway? Lots of NATO militaries around the world don't require their service members to shave every day. And if you've ever been in the field and you've run out of shaving cream and you've got a 7-day-old razor, you know the struggle. The old dry shave is the nemesis of infantrymen everywhere. This is a significant event, though, as it is a first. Took a lawsuit. And it also dispelled some of the myths surrounding beards. A long-standing assertion against facial hair is that a gas mask would not properly seal in a chemical environment. Well, Mr. Jaskirat Singh, our newest Marine, is proof that you absolutely can. Now, should we allow people to serve if their religious practices would conflict with currently held standards? Let's take a look at the Sikh religion. And for any of you out there that know a member of the Sikh religion or are a member of that religion, if I butcher this, I apologize. Just know that it's not from a place of malice. I did some reading, and to be quite honest with you, the tenets of the religion, I believe, match up flawlessly with the tenets of our United States Marine Corps, and quite frankly, they're qualities that we would want in any service member. In the Sikh religion, male members of the religion, I can't speak to the female members, but male members of the religion are required to keep on them 5 articles of faith, right? They already institute their own standard, right? So the idea that they would struggle to follow a standard of a military organization is ridiculous. From the time they are children, from the time they are very young, they are already adhering to standards. Now again, if I get this wrong, I apologize. I have nothing but respect for my Sikh brethren serving in our military. And the Sikhs do have a long and illustrious warrior history behind them. The articles of faith include an untrimmed beard, a small wooden comb, a small knife, a steel bracelet, and a specific cotton undergarment. Now, I've seen them called soldier shorts, and I've also just seen them called cotton underpants. So I'm not sure what the actual term is, and I also don't know what the term is in their religious text. So you'd have to do a quick search on the old interwebs to find that. Already, right, these different articles of faith, they're required to carry these on them, similar to how service members are required to carry any number of random things. They're already adhering to standards based on their religious practice, so to be honest with you, I think it would be pretty easy for them to adapt to that aspect of military culture. In addition to that, Sikhs are taught through their religious text, through their religious leaders, the tenets of honesty, compassion, humility, and generosity, and they are required to practice these things every day. Nothing there screams not military fit to me. In fact, these qualities, I believe, would make them uniquely suited to serve in our United States Armed Forces. I believe all of those qualities are extremely admirable. Now, this is not me proselytizing for the Sikh religion. I am proudly a Christian. But I am also a believer that regardless of what your beliefs are, if you want to fight alongside me in the United States Armed Forces and you can meet the standard, I will gladly accept you, regardless of what you look like, who you love, or what you believe. Again, this is significant because the Marine Corps is known as staunchly opposed to anything that would dismantle or misdirect the uniformity of the force. Uniformity is an incredibly important principle in the Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps almost inarguably is the number one branch that adheres to this. Having a Marine walking around with a beard, some it would appear that the uniformity has been broken. This one Marine has a beard, the rest of them don't. And the Sikhs are not the only religion to require beards. I think the question really becomes, at what point do we say we're infringing on somebody's freedom of religion? And also, at what point do we say we are, based on rules we made up ourselves, dwindling our pool of eligible applicants? Okay, it's no shock, it's no surprise, it's not news to anybody that the United States military, the entire DoD, is struggling with recruiting. And that's for any number of reasons. But listen, if we put restrictions on ourselves that take away the ability for others to serve when that person would otherwise be eligible, I think that that is only a detriment to us. We shouldn't stop somebody from serving when the practices by which they follow, quite frankly, line up perfectly with the practices that we want in our United States Armed Forces. Mr. Singh said that he hopes his actions show other young Sikhs that they too can serve in the United States Armed Forces honorably, that they can have a career in the United States military. Everything that I've read about this individual, the articles that I've read, the videos that I've seen, has shown me that this is somebody who respects the United States military, respects military service, and wants to do his part for a country that he loves and an institution that he clearly loves. The idea that somebody would have to choose between their religious convictions or military service, in my opinion, is sad. Interestingly enough, the Marine Corps has allowed Sikhs their articles of faith while in the service, but not in combat zones for some time. The only resistance has been those in basic combat training. Now, I think this also brings up another really good point. If we need somebody to do something, right, we can allow them to practice their faith, but when we go off to do what the military does, which is close with and destroy the enemy, that's when we can make some changes. Hey, you can't have a beard right now. We're afraid there's going to be a chemical environment, and we're afraid you're going to have to don your J-list, your gas mask, and we're not 100% sure. We don't want to take any chances, right? I think that's a phenomenal compromise. You know, many things change when the mission dictates. Since my beginnings in the United States Army, my leadership has always accommodated me going to church on Sundays. That's part of my faith. And I've always been understanding when maybe a training mission, it doesn't allow for it. But my unit has always made every effort to give me access to a chaplain, every single unit I've ever been in. Somebody that I can at least confer with spiritually on Sundays. And I think you'll find that chaplains in the United States Armed Forces are really phenomenal, vigorous in their effort to make sure that service members are spiritually healthy. There were some fairly easy workarounds during this individual's time in Marine Corps basic combat training. For example, he was asked to remove his steel bracelet during martial arts training. This is a normal practice. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We don't wear rings, we don't wear necklaces, we don't wear watches, we don't wear earrings when we are grappling. It's a danger to others. Mr. Singh, with no hesitation, no resistance, followed through with that. In addition to that, during the swim testing, he was allowed to wear, instead of his turban, a black swim cap. There's easy workarounds for these problems, and this individual may not have been able to serve had this decision not been made through our legal system. The judge presiding over the case stated that the Marine Corps did not justify the idea that Mr. Singh having his articles of faith would deteriorate unit cohesion or a team-oriented mindset. Mr. Singh also said that he received no backlash whatsoever, no reprisal, no vengeance was levied against him during Marine Corps basic combat training. The drill instructors treated him just like everybody else. He was not given additional PT, no extra tasks. He was treated the exact same as every other recruit. By the end of basic combat training, he actually graduated as a squad leader. Now, I've never been through Marine Corps basic combat training, but I remember during my time in Army basic combat training, graduating in a leadership position was generally looked at favorably. You very clearly showed a propensity for leadership. You showed that you're willing to carry more than your fair share of the load, which is exactly what we need out of service members. When service members are willing to think selflessly, right, when they're willing to carry more than their share, that's when amazing things happen. A rising tide lifts all ships is one of my favorite things that a leader of mine has said. And those are the principles that Mr. Singh has shown that he abides by. But, as always, I want to hear from y'all. What do you think? What do you think about this? Are we slipping down a dangerous path? Was this a good decision?